guys, good morning, and welcome back to this week's episode of What the Heck Do You Do? A weekly podcast where we highlight local business owners doing unique and unusual things. This week's episode is brought to you by the Sterling Inspection Group. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or coming on the show, you can email me at rich.rhodes@gmail.com, and we will get you all set up. But without further ado, I want to introduce my guest, Ms. Kathy Horton with Sterling Inspection Group. How are you?
Hello, great. Thanks, Rich, for having me. Hi, Sadie.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, happy to be here.
You are a ball of positive energy.
Thank you.
So I'm excited to have you on and learn
Thank
a little bit
you.
more about your journey, and then a whole lot more about Sterling Inspection Group.
Awesome.
So why don't you go ahead and kick us off and tell us what the heck do you do?
Well, the main thing I do is try to bring a light to the world by being the change. That's my little fun hashtag. And I'm fortunate enough to do that through the Sterling Inspection Group as one of their client care service specialists. And do some of their marketing. But just being positive and live in gratitude. So that's what I really do.
I love it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the Sterling Inspection Group.
So we are an inspection group company based out of Edgewood, Washington. And Michael, the owner, has been an inspector over 20 years, has done over 10,000 inspections. He's amazing. He is so passionate about it. And when I got to ride along on inspections, it was just so fun to see just his excitement and knowledge about everything. And he's grown the group to 7 inspectors.
Okay.
And so we have a team of us, and his daughter Lindsay is our operations manager. I love her. She's like the little sister I never had. We get together and we just click really well, and so it's really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is it common in the industry for there to be such a large group of inspectors for one company, or
not typically? Usually it's a single man, and most inspectors don't last very long, only because you're doing all the marketing, you're doing all the bookwork and the taxes, and then trying to do the inspections on top of it. So it's a lot. But Michael's been wanting to grow and develop this family of inspectors, so it's really exciting.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So from a customer perspective, what's the advantage of going with somebody that has a large group of inspectors instead of just a single inspector?
Well, our schedule is more open. So we have anywhere from, say, 10 slots a day open. So we can definitely service a lot of clients during the week. Usually we can get in next day or pretty quick. I mean, Michael, if you know Michael, he'll make it happen one way or another. It might be him at odd hours, but he's awesome. And so, just having that flexibility to, when you get mutual back, you got a 3-day turnaround, which means you got to get the inspection, you got to get all the other stuff lined up and get the report back, and then counter offer. It's nice to have Sterling in your back pocket because we can get in, we can have the report to you within 24 hours, and then you and the realtor and the client can sit down and say, okay, here's what's going on with the house, on priority list, and then get that back as an offer. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It seems like, especially in the last couple of years, the market here has been hyper competitive.
So it's crazy.
Any sort of advantages from a timing perspective seem.
Yeah. If there's some things wrong with the roof and it's going to need a new roof, that's a good counterpoint when you're going back to the seller and saying, hey, the roof, needs this, this, and this. It's going to be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and then negotiate off of that. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But it's nice to just be educated also. I bought my first house at 24, and I do not remember having an inspection. And when the downstairs flooded and when all these things happened, I was like, I don't remember. Looking back now, I go, I don't remember being warned about what I was getting into.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So speaking to going back to your first home, so tell us a little bit more about kind of your backstory and how you ended up where you are today, and your love of homes and how that all plays in.
Awesome. Well, I have always loved homes. I grew up in a big, beautiful home in Pasadena, California. It'll always be the home that is in my heart, and that maybe someday I'll have on some acreage. It would be awesome. But yeah, I started in the grocery business. I worked grocery for almost 20 years and rented apartments, all of that. When I was in about 23, I was like, I don't think I want to live in an apartment anymore. And so a friend of mine had bought a home, was pretty educated on it, and him and I started going out and looking at homes. And every home I went into, I was like, I could see myself in that home. The little brick ones, like, just, it was so fun. So I ended up getting a 1902 log cabin that was sided on the outside on 7 acres in Gig Harbor. And it was like $110,000 back in 94. No, I do not have that land anymore, but that's okay. So yeah, I was one of those that, just didn't want to settle. I wanted to have my own independence. And I wasn't married or dating at the time. And I thought, well, this will be my home and nobody can kick me out of it. So yeah. So from there, just worked grocery. And then some life happened. I hurt my back in the grocery industry, had to have a total disc replacement, and that got me out of grocery, which was nice. I do have an accounting background. I worked at the Tides Tavern for about 3 years as our bookkeeper. Peter Stanley there sent me to Pierce College, got my accounting degree.
Nice.
And so that's carried me through the rest of that time. And then about 5 years ago, after my divorce, I decided to become a real estate agent.
Okay.
And that was where I was really excited. One of my best friends, who was my mentor and sponsor, she was so good at it. And she's so good with clients. And I just loved going into homes. And so, yeah, so that's where I got into that. And then a lot of life happened, being a caretaker for my aunt. And then 2 years later for my dad. I let my license expire just because of a lot of life happening.
Yeah.
And after that, just the last couple of years, I was introduced to Michael, and it just was a perfect fit for where I was. He was wanting to grow the business, the Sterling Group, to get out in the community, to market the business. And he had asked somebody, hey, I'm looking for somebody to go out and represent Sterling and share. And basically what I say is I just go make friends. And so, yeah.
And then wait for them to buy or sell a home. And
yeah. So really, our client isn't a realtor. The buyer's our client. But we try to establish great relationships with realtors so they can refer us. They have to refer 3 different inspection companies. And so, they have their rules too.
Right.
And so, but we like to be on the top of that list. And why we are that way is because we can get in, we do a thorough inspection, and we're there for our clients. And we also offer great warranties, which don't normally come with the single man inspector. And so you get a 5-year leak proof warranty on your roof. So say we inspect the house, there's no leaks, there's no issues, and 2 years down the road there's a leak that happens, we have insurance for that. So it's great peace of mind.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. So tell us more about the warranties. So that's just one example, but I think that's super important.
Yes.
So tell us maybe more about the other ones that
So we do a 90-day, which basically covers everything that we've inspected, that says we've looked at everything looks operational, or not, we put that in the report. And then we have the 5-year roof that we've actually added a 1-year structural warranty, which is huge. So something shifts in the structure that we've said everything looks great, we've addressed everything, but something happens, there's warranties for that. So we just want to give those buyers peace of mind. A lot of especially first-time home buyers, they don't realize how stressful a process is. And then when you move into a house and then you learn all the maintenance, upkeep, the little things that can pop up, it can be very overwhelming. And so we want to just take a little bit of that stress out of that and give them peace of mind with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I know I bought a new house, brand new, no one had lived in it before. And so that comes with the builder's warranty. And basically at the end of a year, you get to make a list. But if you're moving into a house that's been on the market and multiple people have lived in it, then you don't
Yes.
necessarily get that. And so you guys provide something similar to that through your warranties and stuff like that.
I have two really quick, great stories. So one was I had run into a realtor and we were chatting. She goes, "Oh yeah, we had our inspection. Everything went great. The buyers moved in, everything closed. They moved in. They had opened the wall for some reason and there was mold in there. Well, we have a mold warranty." And so I said, "Remember, you have that warranty." And she's like, "Oh, that's right. I forgot." And so she took a picture. I had the pamphlet with me. She took a picture, sent that to the buyer. They were able to cover that. Another one is we have recall check. So we take pictures in our inspection. We take pictures of everything, and especially all the appliances and serial numbers. And at closing, the buyers walk through the house for their final inspection and happened to notice that the appliances were not the same ones that were in the house when originally on the market. And they went,
I assume they were a lower grade,
they
lower
were
quality.
they were a lower grade. They were from one of their rental properties. And so our agent was able to take those pictures and go back to the seller and say, no. And so they were compensated for that.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
It's nice to have pictures and a report on your side.
And then more generally, bait and switch aside, the recall check, then you guys monitor that. So if there is a recall.
So we take that information, we send it into a company. They send a monthly newsletter that says, "Hey, winterize your house tips," just great information, especially for homeowners so that, we forget to switch out filters in our air systems and stuff.
So
yeah.
letting you know that stuff's due essentially.
Exactly. And then if there is a warranty, then you'll get the information and say, "Hey, by the way, your washing machine has a warranty on it. Here's the contact information." Yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
And I always ask people when I go to groups, I go, "Everybody raise your hand that when you buy a new appliance, you actually fill out all the warranty stuff and you submit that." Nobody.
Depends. I'm probably 50-50. On a good day, sure. Yeah, I get to
I might get one hand risen every so often, but for the most part, not so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how about inspections outside of the home buying process? So I think we all kind of naturally, we know that has to happen during that process.
Yeah.
But what do you see, or what's your recommendation in terms of, home inspections outside of just the normal buying and selling process?
So we also offer other inspections. So we do the home inspection, which is we tour the whole home, the attic, the roof, the crawl space, interior, all the major plumbing, electrical, HVAC systems, make sure everything's operational, the electrical panel. And then we also offer sewer scope, which is checking the line from the home out to the street.
Okay.
And we have a camera that goes down into the line. And it's pretty cool when you see a whole bunch of roots and stuff growing through the system and you're not getting a good flow. It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we can do multiple inspections at one appointment, which also saves time. Because think about an agent who has a listing. She's from North Seattle. She's down here in Puyallup or Tacoma. It's a long day. She doesn't want to come back for two different inspections. So sewer scopes, air quality testing, mold testing, well, there's the whole list of them anyway. Environmental testing, yeah. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you think that is it like once every 5 years you should probably like check everything, or is it just if you're sensing there's an issue?
So if you haven't had one in a while, I always say knowledge is power. So my example for that is last year we were out at a beautiful house on Lake Tapps Island, and we were doing our employee photos. And we were doing action shots. So the guys were in their full suits and, checking the electrical up in the crawl spaces. They went down into the basement and they were crawling through and they found a leak that was coming from one of the bathrooms. We would have never known, right? I mean,
while you were just taking pictures?
While we were just there taking pictures for our employee photos. And this is a gorgeous, like, $1 million home. And you just don't know what you don't know if you're not crawling through the places of the roof or the crawl spaces. And so we were able to say, by the way, there's a leak in here. Luckily, it was minor, but could you imagine if that kept going on for a year or so, and then having, you walk into your bathroom and you step in and it's like rotted, and then it's a nice $20,000-$30,000 remodel.
Right. Yeah.
Mama's getting her new shower or jet tub.
Yeah. Well, I think that falls into the bucket of just insurance in general, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't expect big bad things to happen,
right?
But if your house burns down, you're gonna want homeowners insurance to pay for it, and not be out of luck, right?
I think depending on the age of your home is crucial. If you have old wiring, old plumbing. My last house that I was at, our septic line was cinder block plumbing. Piping going out.
Cinder block piping.
It's like those concrete, and when those deteriorate, things just go not where they're supposed to. So, it's nice to have a clear view of what's happening. So definitely depending on age. Yeah. And especially to pre-list your home, I always say, if you haven't had, so say you buy a home, you've been there 7 to 10 years, and is it worth getting the inspection, knowing what is going on with your home, so you already know going into selling your home the condition it's in? Maybe you didn't know that the roof was leaking and it's something you could fix really quickly. Or do you want the buyer to find it and then come back to you and say, oh, there's that leak in the roof. Now we want $10,000 off the price, or, so it's nice if you have that time to do a pre-inspection, have that information going into it, and you kind of have the cards on your side.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Makes sense. Yeah, I equate it to like somebody that avoids the doctor even though like something's bothering them. Like,
yes,
you have whatever's going on.
Yes.
If you want to put your head in the sand and not address it, like,
correct.
I get it. Like, there's anxiety with finding out, but like you said, knowledge is power. You can then fix it.
Right.
Versus, letting that skin tag grow and grow and grow, and all of a sudden you're having super invasive surgery to remove it, versus, it could have been lopped off with some of that freezing spray, right?
Yes.
Done, biopsied, okay, cool, you caught it early. And so I think, it's probably the same thing with your home. Like, if there's things lurking behind the walls, they're there.
Yes.
And if you want to ignore it, the only way that's going to come out is when it turns into
correct
that massive thing, right? When the wall just crumbles one day because water has been building up for 5 years and you chose to ignore it. So I think that's a good message of knowledge is power. And so if you've been in your home for a while, 5, 10 plus years, it might be worth a couple $100 just to find out, like,
absolutely.
Okay, is there anything here that's about to be a significant issue?
Right. And it's worth the investment to get the inspection, to know what you're up against, and then prioritize, just like a buyer does. They want to know, okay, what am I going into? I can prioritize things. I always look at it like a vehicle. If you buy an older car, you don't have all the computer components, but timing belts and all the things that need to be checked on to make sure that they're not going to break, or nothing's leaking. So it's kind of that same analysis, but so
right. Or like the tires are getting bald, they're not there yet, but just heads up, right? Start planning ahead. So it sounds like same thing with the home inspection. There could be things where, hey, that eventually is going to present as a problem, but you can put it a little bit lower on the list, whereas this thing's about to blow, and if you don't address it, you're going to have a homeowner's claim, essentially.
For sure. When my parents bought my first car, we took it to somebody we trusted that had a shop that did a quick once-over on it and said, okay, Kathy, welcome to owning your first car, and you're going to need new tires in a year. This is how much it'll be. You'll need a tune-up. This is how much it'll be. And so it just helps you prepare for that.
Gotcha.
So absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Switching gears a little bit. So talk to me a little bit about, I know you and I bumped into each other at our networking group, Ignite You.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit more about that too before we're done. But talk to me about some of the stuff you do with the single appraiser or inspectors and the subcontracting kind of program that you guys have. I don't know exactly what to call it. I just know when I heard it, I was like, that's awesome. Like, I love that. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So We are always looking to grow. And so I did not mention the territory that we're in. We service everywhere from Vancouver, Washington, all the way up I-5 corridor, Lacey, Olympia, that area, Tacoma, Pierce County. We are out in Gig Harbor, out in the Key Peninsula. We go up to Burien, Seattle, out Kent, Covington. We reach a lot further, but we don't always advertise because we kind of like our little hub right here. But Michael will make it happen, like Snohomish or anywhere like that.
Gotcha.
And so we're in that area. So we're always looking for inspectors, whether it's somebody who wants to become an inspector and join our team, or if it's an inspector who is already on his own. And they're all licensed privately, just like a realtor. And so they go through the testing, the state test, and become licensed. And so, but we're always looking for subcontractors because as we grow, and especially now that I'm out in the field, getting more agents aware that we're here, making more friends, and then we want to have that team grow with us. And when I came on, I said, we will be the largest Pacific Northwest inspection group. And that's my goal. And we're going to get there. So we just need more people. So we have subcontractors that are inspectors, a couple that are in their later years of inspecting, and they don't want to do the marketing. They don't want to do the bookkeeping and pay their taxes. They just want to show up and do inspections.
Right.
So we feed them that business. We also have some younger guys who just got licensed and they want the experience. You think about if you're on your own and you're doing, say, a good new inspector would have maybe 3 inspections a week. So, you know, you average that over a year, that's not very much. If we're feeding them 5 to 10 a week, they're getting more, you know, experience. They're getting training. Michael will train them. Our guys that have been trained by Michael, they'll train them. And so having that experience is awesome.
Right.
And so, yeah, so we're always looking for new inspectors, ones that want to subcontract with us and, yeah, get more business.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Right. And so how does that work in terms of feeding? Do they sign up for how many like additional inspections that they're looking to do, or is it like they get a text that says, hey, are you available? I'm really curious to know like how
so we have our schedule, and then as the calls come in, we obviously fill up our regular guys' schedule first,
right,
and then they get overflow. And so say our books are pretty full for the day and we get a call for Wednesday and we say, oh, hey, so-and-so we have, and they'll let us know what their availability is. And then we just feed them those jobs and they show up with the Sterling information and the Sterling warranties. These single guys aren't giving warranties to their clients unless they're working with Sterling.
Gotcha.
And so that's a bonus in itself. And so, yeah.
Interesting.
So it's pretty awesome. We'll feed them up to like 5 a week. Just because we want to make sure we take care of our guys first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as we grow, that number will grow too. So.
Gotcha. So you Monday morning, Monday afternoon, you know all your guys are booked on Wednesday. Another call comes in. Yeah. You reach out to the subcontractors that you've lined up that have said, I have availability all day on Wednesdays.
Yep.
And then you just connect with them to give it to them essentially, or offer it to them, I guess, and they accept it. And then do they put on their Sterling hat and their Sterling shirt?
They show up in purple.
Gotcha. So okay, so they have their
purple.
They have their branded swag so that they're able to.
Yeah.
No, I love. I mean, it's got like an Uber kind of feel to it, right?
Yes.
It's like you've got your day job, but you're looking to supplement your income.
Absolutely.
And you're able to trust them, one, because you've done a little bit of training with them, but two,
done a lot of training.
The state licensing, I think, is pretty.
Yep.
It's robust, right? There's a lot of hours that go into being an inspector. Is it
and
like 2,000 or something like that? I forget.
Yeah.
I remember hearing it and being like, wow, like that's pretty legit. It's a big number.
Yeah.
So the bar to get in is so high that once somebody's certified that they're capable, then it's just teaching them some of the...
Yeah. It is experience, though, because a lot of it is book knowledge, and you can read a book and understand, but until you walk through a home and learn the ins and outs and what to really look for and be very thorough, that's where the experience comes in. Because just like with anything you're new, you show up and you're like, oh, I forgot to do that. And you go home and you go, oh, I forgot to check that, or maybe I forgot to take the picture of the serial number on the dishwasher. You know, those are little things, but we have a very thorough proven plan. We do our inspection the same way, so it flows and the checklist goes complete circle.
Yeah.
So it's not bouncing around and forgetting stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and these inspectors, they'll still have their workloads. So if maybe they got a bunch of calls that week and we say, hey, we have something on Wednesday. And they say, oh, actually I got calls. Okay, great. So.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's a good supply and demand management system because they can get it elsewhere, but they can come to you when they're ready. And same thing for you. You guys have your own people. And so to me, that's just, it's brilliant. Like I said, when I heard it, I was like, I love it. So
we're always looking to grow other people. And Michael knows, because he was a single inspector, that it's hard.
Sure.
And to go out there to market yourself, to build relationships with realtors, to gain their trust, it's a process. It's an ongoing process. Some may like you, some may not like you, but it's that process. And when you're having to do everything, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So when we take that out of the equation, and then you can work with Michael and the other guys and get that training and that insight, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that analogy where if you're a single person, sole proprietor, you're the CEO, the CFO, right?
Yeah. Marketing,
Chief, information technology officer. You're the marketing person.
Accounting.
You're the HR person. You're the accounting. Right? You're all those things.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, you have to actually be the worker too.
Right.
Right. So ideally, you want your workers working 40 hours a week on the work. That's where the revenue comes.
Yes.
It's like, well, then when the heck do you find time to be all those other leadership positions?
Yes.
And that's when you start working 60, 80 hours a week, or you're not marketing nearly enough and all that type of stuff. So.
And there's seasons in inspecting. So obviously spring and summer, we're slammed because that's a hot time. We're still out there during the fall and winter, but there's just not as much going on. And so that's where, they'll be starving, it's like, I haven't had an inspection for 2 weeks, just because the volume isn't there.
Right.
And so, that's where we would help them to be able to be consistent.
Yeah. It's a very, very symbiotic relationship, I guess,
Yes,
right? They help you to manage overflow, so you're not coming back with, sorry, we can't see you for a week.
Yeah.
And then same thing, they're getting some additional business to make sure their calendar stays full.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that those folks kind of learn a lot too from you guys? Just because it sounds like you're very process oriented in terms of just how you complete your inspections, and there's a lot of rigor there to make sure you don't miss anything, which I'm a former process improvement guy, so that really speaks to me. But so do you find that then they also maybe learn some tips and tricks for their business and stuff too?
And even our newer inspectors, because they've had so much training with Michael, we have a new guy. He's older. He actually switched careers completely, like a 180. And he's in his 50s, and he's just killing it. He's so awesome. And every review comes back, he's so great, So that speaks a lot for our training, who we interview these. We don't just hire people. We go through a lot of interviewing, and we really kind of set the standard up for Sterling. And so, it's exciting to see somebody that is changing careers in their later life, that it can be scary, but he's just doing so great. And he comes in the office and he's excited, and he goes, oh, those clients were so great. And so it's fun to see that. Yeah.
And that seems like a good hiring strategy for you guys too, because then you can bring him on as a contractor. There's no permanent relationship there yet, but like you said, somebody knocks it out of the park. Maybe that's the guy you invite to come on full time.
Absolutely.
Versus maybe if somebody struggles to adopt your practices and things like that, then like you said, you get reviews back and you can manage that accordingly as well. So,
and we've acquired other companies, and we have moved into other territories because of that. We've had inspectors that say, I don't want to do all the marketing and all this, and so we go in that area. We market that, we help build that customer base for them, and it's awesome, and then they can just go do what they're good at,
right,
and not have to go in and make friends everywhere with all the offices, because there's a lot of real estate offices out there. So
that's your job.
That's my job.
So tell us a bit more about your strategies for doing that in terms of getting out there and networking, and what's your focus when you're out in the communities that you serve?
So typically when we're out and about and everything is functioning, I hit anywhere from 10 to 12 offices in a day. And so I have routes from Vancouver, Washington, out through Gig Harbor, Lacey, Olympia, Tacoma, Pierce County, Kent, those areas. And so I'll go through my route and I'll go to each office and I'll say hi to the gatekeeper. And I'm just saying, I was in grocery for almost 20 years. Say hi to your checker. You know, there's so much focus on them right now. And I think, oh gosh, people are just getting a clue on this, you know. Anyway, customer service is key. And so going in, making friends with the gatekeeper. Hey, how's it going? How are your horses? How are your kids? What's going on? How was your vacation? Letting them know they're human, because they don't get a lot of interaction. And then going to our vendor area, making sure that we have our flyers up and pens and our stress balls. Where's the stress balls? And so
I can grab mine now. They're almost at the end. I had to put it out of arm's reach because I didn't want to sit
Rich was playing
the whole time,
just
bouncing on the wall and getting distracted. So I put it over there. But
I have like our new agent packets and the pens. You know, we just want to educate. There's always new realtors coming on board. There's always new blood. And so just getting in there, you never know who you're going to meet. So I go with a mindset of gratitude and abundance. And it's funny, I'll drive up and of course there's a parking spot right in the front for me. I go, thank you. I'll just be in and out 5-10 minutes. Okay. And then I leave, you know, or I'll go in and I'll meet the managing broker and I'll say, how can we connect with your agents? How can we get Michael in front of them? Maybe do a Q&A. What are your questions about inspections? And build those relationships and create that resource for them.
Sure.
Because they're always having questions about homes and how to train them. So when they're walking buyers through the house, how they can have that eye on different things. So maybe
not be an expert, but at least know,
exactly,
hey, that roof's probably on its way out, or just something that clues them in. They don't have to know the details.
Just little things, So that's what I do. I get to go out, share with people that we're here for them. We want to be a resource for them. We want to build those relationships. We love bringing free lunch on Fridays, you know, and spoiling our inspectors or our agents. And so just helping them know who we are and what we're about. So yeah,
I love it. So if what's the best way for folks to reach out if they're, whether it's an individual considering an inspection or it's a realtor who's interested in learning more about what you guys do? What's the best way to contact you guys?
So people have asked me, and my question is, when you're looking at anybody to hire, how long have they been in the business? Look at their reviews, all of that. We have a fabulous website that we just rolled out, a new one, at sterlinginspections.com with an S. And or you can call our office. We are, if the home office doesn't answer, it goes to Michael's phone. Okay. And so Michael wants to make sure that the phone calls are answered. But our website is amazing, has a ton of information. You can book 24/7. I always say 10:30 at night, mutual comes back and the agent gets to, oh my gosh, we got to, get the inspection. We got to line all this stuff up. Just go online, see what's available, click on it, boom, and you're scheduled.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's especially in today's day and age, that's critical, right? Just being able to go online and do that.
We do have an app on the phone also, which is even more amazing. And so literally I've shown the app to agents and they're like, whoa. And all their inspections that they've ever had done from Sterling are in their database. So say 2 years down the road, your client calls and say, remember there was that thing with that corner roof, was it the left or the north side or what? They could pull up that report right there on their phone. Bam. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So we like to be technologically savvy.
Sure.
Whatever.
That's
Those
awesome.
Big words. Anyway.
No, that's great. I mean, like you said, especially in a hot real estate market, things are moving so quickly.
So quickly, yeah.
And there's so many people that get involved in a process. It's nice to know that you guys are available and it's easy to access you. And it's not, well, I'll just wait till the morning and try and call. You can, like you said, at 10:30 at night, you can get an inspection booked for tomorrow afternoon and make sure that you're keeping your clients at an advantage by keeping them moving through the process.
Well, I have a really quick funny story. So as you build relationships with us at Sterling, especially with Michael, we have Steve Carbaugh, team that rocks. He called Michael the other night at 10:30, and Michael was like, "What's up, Steve? Hey, I got this." They scheduled it for 8:30 that next morning. Boom, it was done.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael he'll make it happen. I don't suggest calling him at 10:30 every night because use our website, but as you build that relationship, there's that there's that trust, and there's that the green light goes.
I love it. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was super fun, super informative. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
I know we've had some conversations, and just every time you told me about some of the unique things, I was just like, that's awesome. That's really cool.
That's what's drawn me to Sterling, is just their family environment and their love for their clients and
awesome.
And the process. So thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. We hope that you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and keep chasing your dreams. Thanks.